Hi, I'm Mark Bunker, and this morning we held our first work session for the Clearwater City Council, and I was thrilled to be a part of it. Those of us on the council, however, were calling in from home because of COVID-19. So we had a 6-second delay, which made it a little difficult to kind of navigate around the situation. But we got a lot of work done. One thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and I'm going to show you this section of the meeting, we had been asked what boards we would like to sit on. Is the council and the mayor also, as part of their duties, they'll sit on different advisory boards and councils from the area. And I told the city that I'm happy to sit on any board that they need me on. Um, but there was one in particular that I was interested in. So this morning, I was appointed to the Courtney Campbell Scenic Highway Citizen Advisory Committee, the Tampa Bay Estuary Policy Board, and the Pension Advisory Committee. And I'm very happy to be serving on all three of those. The one board that I did ask to be placed on is the Downtown Development Board. And the reason is this is a board that's primarily made up of Scientologists now, because the folks who vote for this Downtown Advisory Board, whose goal is to create a vibrant, thriving downtown for everyone. So the only folks who can vote for the board are those folks who live or work in the downtown area. And because there's such a large presence of Scientologists down there, it was easy for Scientology actually to get the bulk of the members on the board. And I thought with my election, it's clear that the people of Clearwater put me onto the council to address the Scientology situation, which for too long no one has been willing to talk about. So here I thought was the perfect opportunity for me to start asking some questions like, who the heck owns all these buildings that were just purchased with over $100 million in cash by Scientology and individual Scientologists? And what the heck is their plan for these buildings? Um, and I'm not coming at this in a confrontational manner. I just think we need to ask those questions and get answers for them. And I think I'm the best person to fill this position because this is, as the wise Mr. Spock said to Captain Kirk in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, there's an old Vulcan proverb, only Nixon could go to China. Well, I think that applies here. I think it's going to take someone like me who understands Scientology to try to navigate this rather convoluted relationship that the city has with the organized Scientology business. So I made my pitch for that. With the delays, it gets a little choppy, but I'm going to play that section for you, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
The Downtown Development Board, Mayor Hibbard has expressed an interest and Councilmember Bunker has expressed an interest.
Okay.
We can discuss it on Thursday to see who wants, I just need one member to serve on that one.
I have a question, if I may. Doesn't Councilmember Albritton already serve on the DDB?
Yes, so Councilmember
Is he not
Albritton,
interested in continuing, or?
Councilmember Albritton will remain unless he wishes not to serve on the committee, so I would need one more council member to serve on the board.
If I may chime in, this is Councilmember
I will.
Bunker.
You want me to
I have
comment?
another comment or
And it's
question.
one
Hold
thing
on,
that I requested
hold
to-
on, everyone. Councilmember Bunker has the floor.
Thanks. So this is the one board that I asked to be on, and I think it's where I can be of the greatest service for all the folks who voted for me. The primary issue going forward with the downtown development is the intimidating presence of the Church of Scientology. It's not the key problem downtown, perhaps, but it's one that we need to address. And I'm willing to ask the questions and try to get answers as to who owns the properties and what their plans are for them. And we need to work out some sort of way for folks to report any concerns and harassment, whether it's businessmen or customers or folks who live in the area who may have faced intimidation. And I also have...
I don't know if that's the purpose of the board, Mr. Bunker, but...
For many, many months now, going downtown, shooting videos at different restaurants, explaining why people should come downtown. Well, the purpose is to create a vibrant downtown. And this is an important facet of that. And for 40 years now, the key thing keeping downtown from prospering has been people's fear of coming downtown, either because of the intimidating presence of Scientology's cameras, or they just don't want money going into Scientology's pockets. And I disagree with both of those. I've been encouraging people to come downtown, and everyone should feel comfortable downtown. And I think it helped to actually deal with that issue, to make sure that the downtown can prosper. I hear from people all the time who don't want to open their business here in Clearwater because of the presence of Scientology.
Okay. Councilmember Hamilton, I believe I heard your voice, and Councilmember Albritton. So, Councilmember Hamilton first.
Well, I think, my only problem or position is, my only problem is, given past DDB meetings, Councilmember Bunker was in a very confrontational position when he was on the other side of the dais. When you're on this board, you're not there to present or have your personal position as much as represent the city's position. So I would say, if Mr. Bunker is going to be on this board, if his actions deem necessary for us to replace him at a future date, we will not hesitate to do that. But if it's a productive effort, then I have no problem seeing how it works.
Councilmember Albritton?
If I may respond to that.
Well, let me
give
Councilmember Albritton a shot first.
I served on the DDB for years, and we are the job of the ex officio member, which that's what we would be now that we're council members and we sit in on the meetings. The ex officio member is we just advise what the policies are of the city. We're not really a voting member, part of the board. The board is actually elected by the downtown people, an elected board. So I would be fine if someone else wanted to take my position as an ex officio. And it would be, I just want Mr. Bunker to know to clarify what his position would be there, not a policymaker.
Councilmember Beckman, do you have anything to add to the conversation? Otherwise, I'm going to go to Councilmember Bunker.
No, I have nothing to add right now. Thanks for
Councilmember,
asking.
yes, ma'am. Councilmember Bunker.
Thank you. And Councilmember Britton, I appreciate your comments. I understand what you're saying. Also for Mr. Hamilton. If you take a look at the first appearance that I made at the Downtown Development Board, I came with a very simple question. If Scientology is the reason people aren't coming downtown, are Scientologists the answer? And the answer should be yes, they are definitely part of the problem. We have to figure out a way to work with them in a way that they will be the good neighbors they pretend to be. I just heard yesterday from somebody living at 1100 Apex saying that the owner of an empty lot nearby came by and said to the city apartment manager there that they're going to start calling the police if people keep trespassing on the empty lot next door to their building. Where this gentleman who contacted me said he and his girlfriend go out and play frisbee to get a little recreation during this lockdown. And I understand that what my position would be, but I do feel that this is an only Nixon could go to China moment for the city, where somebody who understands Scientology and is willing to have a peaceful dialogue is the appropriate person to be starting to tackle this singular issue that the people of Clearwater definitely are interested in tackling.
Okay, anything else? Ms. Hagan, you wanted to
Yes, sir.
comment?
As you may be aware, Mayor, there is an existing long-term injunction which includes Councilman Bunker and the Church of Scientology that requires, that may be relevant to this situation, requires them to remain 10 feet in separation. I'm taking a look at this injunction, but it appears to be applicable. So members of the church, of which I believe there are 3 or 4 on the board, and Mr. Bunker are required to be separated from each other by 10 feet. So Mr. Bunker, that does require or cause some logistical issues for the board that could be met. They obviously can be in the same room, that's not an issue, but they would logistically need to be separated from each other, which is unusual since they meet, I believe, in this room. So, so there is that consideration.
Okay. Well, let's address this further on Thursday.
That was bound to pop up at some point. I know Scientology would be using it to try to keep me off the council. But if you stop to think about it for a moment, this injunction, which has been in place since 1999, I have never broken that injunction. It specifically states where you can stand and move about as you're protesting. Now, I really haven't done any protesting of Scientology. I was the camera guy out there filming other people protesting. And in the injunction itself, Judge Pennick, who crafted this, said that videotaping is fine anywhere. So there are no restrictions on me moving anywhere in the city. The other aspect of it is that I'm supposed to stay 10 feet away from Scientologists, and they're supposed to stay 10 feet away from me. The only problem is, since there are only like a handful of people named from the Lisa McPherson Trust, which was the target of this injunction, we've all been served. But Scientology didn't serve anybody, and we couldn't afford to serve every Scientologist in the city. So it's been a one-sided bludgeon that Scientology uses primarily to shut down anyone who has anything critical to say of Scientology. And again, my goal for the board is not to be confrontational. It's to try to find answers and solutions. So we're going to be voting on this on Thursday. Well, they'll make the decision on Thursday who should be on the board. And I want you to have an opportunity to think about the issue and maybe share your comments with the city if you're interested. Thanks for your consideration, and we'll find out what happens on Thursday. Bye.